Hello and welcome back to another video. For today's video, I'm going to give you just a little bit of personal attention while doing a new series where I ramble about some of my favorite historical figures throughout the world, focusing on country by country. For today, I've chosen one of my favorite countries, Romania. I've been very interested in Romania since I was 12 years old. I always thought that they had a very interesting geography and history. So, for tonight's video, I will be referring to the side where my notes are to illustrate and delve into the lives of two of my favorite historical figures. Vlad the Impaler, otherwise known more properly as Vlad the Third of Wallachia, which was Romania before it became Romania, and Corneliu Codreanu. This is a more modern Romanian figure who was born in 1899. So, we'll be exploring their lives, their choices, their faiths, their human experiences. But let us begin slowly with Vlad. So, this is when my notes come in handy. Vlad III, known as Vlad the Impaler, was born in 1431 in Transylvania, actually Wallachia. He was the son of Vlad II Dracul, whose name reflects the Order of the Dragon, a chivalric order dedicated to defending Christianity. From early childhood, Vlad was immersed in the tension between faith, politics, and survival. A fun fact for those who aren't familiar with Romania and that territory of Wallachia, it's the mouth of Europe, so anything that comes from what is now known as the Middle East will get to Europe through Romania. So Romania has always been a very fixed point when it comes to the Crusades, when it comes to any sort of tension or rivalry that happens between the continent of Europe and the opening of the Asiatic countries. So, his family, Vlad the Impaler's family, was Catholic in a predominantly Orthodox region. Eastern Europe is largely Orthodox Christian, which originates from the Middle East. And he was educated in both faith and warfare, learning the values of loyalty, justice, and honor. Honor. As a young boy, he was held hostage by the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire actually collapsed a little over a century ago during the inception of this new modern world that we live in. A lot of the world came to an end, which no one thought could ever happen, roughly around the beginnings of the 1900s. A difficult experience that shaped his understanding of human nature, fear, and diplomacy. He witnessed betrayal and violence and had to learn survival, all while maintaining his belief in a just God. Vlad became Prince of Wallachia in 1456. 1456, he became Prince of Wallachia, facing invasions, rebellions, and political unrest. During that time, Wallachia was under a lot of pressure from the culturally distinct Western Europe, and also from the religiously distinct Middle East. His faith guided some of his decisions. He saw himself as a protector of his people and of Christianity within the region. The invaders were trying to conquer Wallachia and make it part of the Ottoman Empire and subject all Christians within that realm to indentureship, slavery, and obviously executions. He enforced laws strictly, sometimes using fear, hence the name Vlad the Impaler, but always believing he was safeguarding the righteous. So to his enemies, he was considered Vlad the Impaler. But if you were to visit Romania or ask any Romanian what they think of Vlad the Impaler or Vlad III, they would consider him a protector, someone who safeguarded his people in whatever manner was necessary. Vlad's personal life, his devotion, his family were deeply intertwined with his responsibilities. He corresponded with European rulers, negotiated alliances, and often prayed for guidance. Imagine him walking through the forests of Wallachia, sword at his side, hands clasped in prayer, planning, thinking, and sometimes quietly reflecting on the weight of his choices. In whispering about him, we explore the human, the prince, the man shaped by faith, honor, and necessity. Let's take a soft, short breath together. Imagining the castle halls, the cold nights, and the quiet moments of reflection. Now, let's travel to another era, another man. Corneliu Codreanu. I will be butchering his name, for I only ever read it in my head. It's very common and natural for anyone who experiences the same to only ever hear a word or name or a place inside your head and then not quite know how to pronounce it. Although I did look up the pronunciations beforehand, but still, it takes practice and constant repetition. Like Vlad, Corneliu's life was guided by faith and conviction. It's very, very common in Romania for them to have strong religious conviction due to communist occupation, Muslim invasions, and other such geographically vulnerable events. Let's approach softly, 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 softly. His life. Corneliu Codreanu was born in 1899 in what is now known as modern day Romania. Romania, I believe, is the only Latin country on the Eastern European side of the continent. It is not Slavic, it is largely Latin, a time of political unrest and spiritual searching. He was deeply religious from a young age, Orthodox Christian, unlike Vlad the Impaler, who began as a Catholic Christian, and his faith shaped his worldview, his activism, and his sense of purpose. Corneliu is a very controversial figure, but what I personally appreciate about the man was his integrity, his intelligence, his moral compass, and his righteous stance. As a student, Corneliu was known for his discipline, intensity, and devotion. He believed strongly in moral purity and the renewal of society according to Christian values. Naturally, it's what was cultural and is cultural. He formed the controversial group titled the Iron Guard, a movement that blended faith, nationalism, and social reform during a very turbulent time in Romanian history. Codreanu's life was full of public attention, rallies, speeches, and organizing, but also private moments. Moments of prayer, reflection, and doubt. Imagine him. Imagine him. You can close your eyes, keep them open, look down or look up. Imagine him walking quietly through the streets of Iași at night. Hands folded, thinking deeply about morality, responsibility, and God. He experienced struggle, opposition, imprisonment, yet continued in what he believed to be a righteous path. As we whisper about him, we can consider the human behind the figure. The faith that guided him, the challenges he faced, and take a quiet moment to reflect on how conviction and belief can shape a life. like you to leave in the comments a country you would like me to discuss next. Personally, for me, I've observed that I tend to get very hooked upon historical figures rather than historical events. Historical events do fascinate me, but what keeps me interested are the historical figures within them. And I like to better understand historical events through individuals who experienced those events, multiples of them, so that way I can get an understanding of all views within that historical event. So, if you'd like, please do leave a list of country recommendations, historical figure recommendations, and I would love to see what we can explore next weekend. I think I might prioritize ones that I haven't yet studied yet, all because it would be very curious to me to do videos on them. But I could also lean towards making videos or deep dives onto figures that I already know because I feel more confident with them. Some other favorite features of mine about Romania is that apparently Romania is a highly safe country. Allegedly, you can walk at night in Romania and not feel very paranoid about there being any crimes inflicted onto you. It seems to be a slightly more moral country, although going back to Codreanu, they actually banned his name in Romania about like a couple months ago, I believe. I think it was like a minister of like propaganda or something within Romania who declared that the name Corneliu Codreanu is now banned. No politician and no citizen can evoke his name within the country, despite the fact that I believe Codreanu is the 20th most historically significant Romanian figure within Romania's history. So, that I do not appreciate. I enjoy hearing all historical perspectives, all historical viewpoints, and seeing what adds up to a fuller understanding of historical events through them. Censoring or banning historical figures or tales to me only makes me start feeling a Streisand effect, where then I'm like, well, let me see what I can figure out about the person now. You've just turned this into a scavenger hunt. So, with that in mind, please do recommend your favorite countries, your favorite historical events, your favorite historical figures, and I will dedicate some videos to them. Until then, thank you, 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 thank you for spending this quiet time with me, exploring history, exploring humanity. Vlad and Codreanu, men of faith, 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 conviction, 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 and circumstance, 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 circumstance. We can reflect on their lives, their struggles, and their humanity. Let's take one final deep breath together. Feeling calm, reflective, grounded, and gently return to the present moment